Hello, what do you call a pile of cats? A mountain. Ha ha ha. Oh gosh. I hope you guys are still loving these jokes. Okay, today we're talking about a kind of new concept. It's called PAYG. Um, and also we're going to talk about gross and net pay. So here are some definitions for you now. As we saw from yesterday's lesson or last lesson with Eckham owing $20,000 to tax, they charge you tax or you pay tax once a year, every July. So they call that end of financial year. Now, if any regular person had to pay 20,000 in one go, that's going to hurt. So what they do is they take money out of every paycheck and they call it pay as you go. So that means you put a little bit of money aside, and so hopefully by the end of your full year, you've got money that's been saved to pay tax. Okay, that's pay as you go. Now, a couple things to note is just the terminology. They'll also talk about gross pay and net pay. So your gross pay, just think of that as that's your total pay. Everything that's income, that's your gross pay. Now, your net pay is probably the more important number. It's actually what's left after you've been taxed. Okay, so it kind of makes sense. That's your money that you don't have to give to the government. It just belongs to you and it's for you to spend. Okay, now in other words, the way that it works is you just do your gross income, take away your PAYG, and then whatever is left, that is your net income. Okay, or your net pay. Let's do an example. Also, there's a thing called Medicare levy. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Medicare levy pays for your medical needs in Australia, which is very, very nice. So we need to pay 2% of your taxable income. And then if we go to the doctors, all of that is for the most part free. Okay. Now, otherwise it would be very expensive. So let's say Serge earns $56,000 a year. His tax payable is $8,540, and he plus whatever his Medicare levy is. We want to find his okay. So we want to find out how much he has per week. Before we can find his weekly, we're going to have to find his yearly. So let's start with that. We know that we need to calculate his Medicare levy. Let's use his Medicare levy. And it's going to drive some of you nuts. So I'm going to fix that. Okay, so let's say Medicare levy, and we know the Medicare levy is 2% of his taxable income, which we know is 56,000. So I'm going to calculate that. 0.02 or 2% times 56,000. That'll give you 1,120. Okay. Now that's something he has to pay. Now he also has to pay total tax that he has here is going to be the 8,540. That's his tax payable, plus his Medicare levy, which is 1,120. And then if you add those together, 8,540, you should be left with 9,660. So this is how much he has to pay. Okay. So altogether, Serge is going to have to pay this much. Now, the way that we found our net, okay, way that net works is I'm going to go gross income. So just remember here, net equals to gross minus pay as you go, and then minus Medicare as well while you're at it. So I'll do that together, plus Medicare. Okay, so your net is going to be your gross, which is 56,000. And then I'm going to minus our total tax, which is 9,660. And I'm going to figure out what's left. 56,000, take away 9,660. That's going to give me 4,6340. So that means Serge earns $56,000 a year, but after tax, what's left is $46,340. Okay, now how do I change this to weekly? Because right now this is per year. So to weekly, all I would do is divide it by, I hope you said 52 and not 12. Okay, 4,6340 divided by 52, because there's 52 weeks in a year. That means you'll be getting 891.15. So that means every week that's how much he has to spend and not go overboard so he doesn't lose his tax money. Okay. No, I know that was full on. Just break it down. Your worksheet today will actually break it down into smaller steps than this. Enjoy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, bye.